Hey folks, what's up? How you doing? We're here at the SHPE conference. We're doing some project management, and we're taking a look at network diagrams today. Do you want to say hello? Can you do that? You just say hello. Hello. Okay. So folks, we're moving on to the critical path, and you guys found out that the critical path is A, B, C, G, which is 17. Okay. Now we're going to go a step further. We're going to take a look at something called the forward pass and the backward pass. So I'm going to introduce you to another concept for the PMP exam, okay? So we're going to move on to opening up a blank piece of paper. I want you guys to draw out what we had on the previous slide. So if you can draw this out and just write A, B, C, D, E. No need to go into the different names of the people. We're just going to write those out. And then we're going to begin solving this network diagram using a forward pass. And I want you guys to follow along because I'm going to do it on the whiteboard. Okay. Okie doke. So this is it's a rather important part of the PMP exam, at least in the preparation for the PMP exam, because a lot of people often think, oh, this is definitely going to come out, and they get a little bit concerned. So they study, and then they get to the exam, and then the topic doesn't show up, unfortunately. But for some people, it does. Okay, so we got two at the top, one at the bottom, and right there. And here. All right. So the next thing I would like you to do is to divide each box like that into 4 quadrants. Okay? And then we're going to write the duration close by so that we remember the duration. So we've got 1762, 1762, and then 95 here, and then 3. And then I would like you to write down, maybe in a few, but I want you to write down ES, early start, at the top. Then here we're going to write late start. Here, early finish, late finish. And you can do that for a couple of them just to remember. Kind of like that. Okay. So now, what I'm about to show you, and I'm dunking you in head first, because usually, folks, the time that we use for schedule management, time management, usually we spend 4 hours going through this stuff in a typical 1-week class. But now we're going to try and shift that down to 15 minutes. Do we have 15 minutes left? So it's going to be quite an aggressive leap. So I'm going to show you, I'm just dunking you head first. A lot of what I'm showing you here happens on the back end of MS Project. It happens on the back end of Primavera, and you don't see it. But it is thinking, what is the earliest time I can start this task? What is the latest time I can start this task? What is the latest time I can finish? And so on. So I'm going to show you how to do a forward pass using something called the zero method. Cassandra, you probably remember this from chapter 6, do you? Do you remember it? Jesus, remember it a little bit from chapter 6? It's in chapter 6. Anyway, that's Staples calling me, trying to trying to make peace. But afterwards, I'll deal with them. All right. So we're doing our forward pass. It's called the zero method because the very first task starts at point 0. I want you to think about a ruler, right? A ruler starts at which point? 0. Not 1, but 0. There we go. So if you have a ruler, it's like that. It starts at 0, right? You don't say, oh, I'm starting from 1 inch. The same way in this method, you need to think about starting from point 0, a point in time, like now, that's 0, okay? So if we start from point 0, we're going to call the first task, which is task A, B, C, G, across. So let me put that down, A, B, C, G, and D and E. So we're going to start at point 0, a point in time, like now. Think about it as a ruler. Now, if you think about task A, it's taken a day, we started at point 0, the early finish is going to be the early start of 0 plus the duration. So just think of this plus this gives this. 0 plus 1 is 1. So you might want to write that in your sheets. Start at point 0, add 1, get 1. You could write a formula that says early start plus duration is equal to the early finish all the time. This is one of the little rules. So you guys should download your Project Management Essentials book. You'll find a very extensive illustration that shows you all these formulas. But for now, just think about it. Oh, this plus this gives. Now, using the forward pass, we're just going to take this early finish. This early finish is going to become the early start of everything else. So we're going to have a 1 here. We're going to have an early start of 1 here. We're going to have an early start of 1. For anything that A is a predecessor of. Okay? Now, from my little formula, what does this become? What should be here? 8, thank you. What should be here? 10, good. What about here? Awesome, thank you. Now, we're going to move again the early finish into the next box. Same for this, same for, well, we'll find out. So we're going to move the 8 over here. What goes here? 14, thank you. What goes here? 10, good. What goes here? Good. Now we are at a point where we need to decide what goes here. Now think about G. G is dependent on which activities? Which one? 3 activities, and they are F, C, and E. Thank you. So now we've got an option of 14, 15, and 4. Think about it. Frank has got to the till at 14 minutes. Julia got there at 4 minutes, but they cannot pay until Phil arrives. The payment is dependent on all the items being available. So what will go here? 15, fantastic. Thank you. What will go here? 17, great. This, folks, is what we call a forward pass. You're going from here on the right to the left. Or if you're looking at it like this, from here to here. Okay? That's your forward pass. What you've done is you found the early start and the early finish of all of the activities. Okay? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look. Welcome. You want to join us for a few minutes?
I'm here to volunteer to put it down.
Cool. Yeah, just keep that in your back pocket, and you just contact me when you're ready. Great. All right. So now what we're going to do is a backward pass. For the backward pass, the rule is that this number at the end is going to be dropped down into this box, which is the late finish box. So we're going to drop the early finish number down into the late finish box, and we're going to have a 17 start us off, going backwards. That's the rule. We always follow that rule, okay? Now, going forward, we were adding, addition. Now we're going to be subtracting. So we're going to subtract the late finish minus the duration. So you can say late finish minus duration equals what? Late start. Late finish minus duration equals late start. So 17 minus 2 is 15. You can see they kind of look the same. Do you know the trick? You guys found the critical path earlier. On the critical path, these numbers are all the same on the critical path, as you'll find out. So you guys said the critical path was A, B, C, G? Yeah. So all of these are going to have the same early start and late start. I could cheat and just fill them in, but I want to show you how it all comes together. This 15 is going to go into the task that came before it. So you're going to take the late start of this. The late start of this is going to become the late finish of this. Okay? Then we're going to subtract 15 minus 6 is 9. Thank you. We're going to take the 15 and put it here. 15 minus 5, 10. Take the 10, put it here. 10 minus 9. Good. Now, we're not just going to do this. We're going to try and do everything else so that we can see what we've got. The 9 is going to go here. 9 minus 7, 2. And this one, we're going to take the 15, put it here. 15 minus 3 is 4. Good. Now, folks, going forward, we use logic to see this is dependent on this, this, and this, so we have to do the one with the highest number. The rule going backwards on your backward pass, and I'll just put it here, always choose the lowest late start on your backward pass. And I've kind of summarized it here so we can get out of the way of the networkers, but we're going to take the smallest number. We take the smallest number, which is it, going backwards? Which one are you going to take? You've got a 12, that can go here, you've got a 1, or you've got a 2. The smallest number is the 1. Then you're going to subtract 1 minus 1 is 0. Now what you've done here, you've done a forward pass and a backward pass. This is showing you the earliest time you can start an activity and the latest time you can start an activity. But beyond this, there are also things called slack or float, which show you the shortest time or show you how much time you can delay an activity without affecting its successor activity. Do you know how you find that out? Take a look at activity B. I cannot delay activity B without affecting activity C. I can, however, delay activity E without affecting activity G by 1 day, because the difference between this and this is 1. I cannot delay anything on the critical path. But this one right here, I can delay this by how many days or minutes? How many minutes can I delay this by? 11. Good. The late, or the early start minus the late start. Early start of G minus late start of F. Okay? So this is a quick introduction to get you immersed into what is on the learning management system, because we have a lot of this stuff, which goes on for minutes on the LMS, actually hours. I don't mean to scare you, but it goes on for hours on the learning management system. Significant amount of time. Most people find themselves spending upwards of 4 to 5 hours, maybe even a whole day. Moses? Is it Moses? Hey, how you doing, man? Hey, we've got this for you. We didn't see you earlier, but we got your copy. So this is a very long presentation. You probably missed quite a bit, But you need to remind me of the times that you came in, and we'll get you to do the remaining work on the learning system. But anyway, that's it for time management, folks. I'm just going to wrap up by going over the ITTOs, if we've got 1 or 2 minutes before the networkers jump in. You know they're going to jump in soon. So those of you at home, thank you very much for joining. Hope you had fun. You can see here, we're just digging into the PMBOK guide over this 3 days. If you don't know about the Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, hey, get with the picture, get with the program. Say bye. See you guys. Sign up to be a SHPE member.